So the script is a play that's based off of a murder that took place in 1934 in Yorktown, Indiana. So I went to the Historical Alliance in Yorktown looking for some information about that old hotel that had been here when they called it West Muncie, because I thought that'd be a great setting for a murder. And I went in, and Becky Monroe, who is the director at the Historical Alliance, said, well, I have some pictures and information, but there's a real murder if you're interested in that. Is there anybody else who wanted to read who didn't ask to do that during our last class?
I might want to.
I'm not about to get in front of you.
Raise your hand over here.
It's a yes or
Hey,
no.
Miss Miller.
For as much as possible for my students to be able to really hear it as if it were being presented as a play. And so students who have those strong skills and interests would probably do an awesome job presenting that to the class. So my students could really focus on the analysis of it and not so much the reading part of it. So there's a group that will be working on taking a look at the setting throughout the play and looking at how that's conveyed, and is it conveyed enough? Is it conveyed realistically enough, etc. There's another group, for example, that's working on dialogue and how that dialogue that they hear in the play moves the plot along. And these are really authentic tasks, because they're exactly what I need to know from my beta audience, my beta readers. But they're also skills that students need to learn. So what a perfect fit that we can do something that's actually authentic. Their input will help me revise my play to make it better. Act 1, Scene 1.
Oh, okay. Almost new. The interior of the small-sized boy's bedroom with an iron bed covered by the nondescript blanket advertisement and some pictures. Mother dressed in the house dress with an apron covering it pokes her head into the small bedroom where Melvin is stretched out on an iron bed frame with his sagging
And
mattress.
as a teacher, it's helped me realize that probably every student who sits in my classroom struggles with something. I think I feel so deeply about this young man who I actually was able to trace through the rest of his life, and there's some fascinating information that I think I found about him, that everybody has their issues that they struggle with, and so I think it's making me a more compassionate teacher. And then in terms of what I hope my students are able to take away, I hope they're also able to take away the fact that writing an English class is not just about writing an English class. There's so many things you can do if you develop those skills to be a decent writer. So, and other things that I hope that my students would learn would be also that idea of, the world's pretty gray. There's not a lot of black and white in the world, and that's probably one of the big things that this play, I hope, one of the themes that this play conveys, that the world's pretty gray. So we need to be compassionate toward people. We need to understand that things are not always one way or the other. Sometimes they're a complicated mix in between.